Right, as promised, a brief introduction on me, my aims for the channel, and things I'd like to do, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching and subscribe and join in. I don't profess to know everything, just things that I've picked up over the years. Always open to suggestions and ideas. So I first got interested in CB radio back in the late 1980, yeah, not late 1980, being a kind of really interested in cars, still am, the street scene, drag racing, custom, and saw in the publications back in the UK, Street Machine, uh, custom car, hot rod magazines. They started to put ads in the back for CB radio and accessories, um, as well as at the car shows and car cruises. To Chelsea car cruise on the last Saturday of the month. I could see guys with antennas driving around with a mic in their hand, and I thought, yeah, I might have to go at some of that. So I made a few inquiries, and I found there was a place in North London where I lived in Enfield that apparently sold CB radios and accessories. So I went along there one Friday night after work. They told me they didn't sell radios; they just sold the accessories. I kind of said, well, I was told that you sell radios. After a brief discussion, he kind of took the money. I think it was about 35 pounds, I think it was. I had to follow him. I had to follow him in the car to a lock-up garage where he gave me a few boxes and told me that if anyone asked where I got it, or the police asked where I got it, it would be from a trucker on the highway, motorways. So I went home, opened the boxes, and it was a Midland 3001, a little kind of, oh, it was a small antenna, a little fiberglass antenna, pre-tuned. So I didn't really need a SWR meter, but I guess he wanted to make a few more pounds. And and that was my start into CB radio. So so the next day saw me um, installing the radio and the antenna onto the car. At the time, I had it was a 19 yeah, it was a 1973 Toyota Celica, black. Love that car. Really love that car. Um, so I managed to mount the radio inside the car, trying to put it somewhere where it was easy to use and not kind of obvious what was there. The antenna was great. It really just looked like a stock car antenna, so that didn't give any kind of it wasn't noticeable as a CB antenna, so that was good. And that was it. So sat on the drive, made my first contact, and then probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 days later, I was speaking to somebody that I've known him for years, and that him and his brother were all importing CB radios, so I kind of could have got a better deal off of those guys. And that was it. It was surprising how many people were out there, how busy it was, and the meets, the shows, um, just the whole scene was incredible. There was meets going on three, four times a week. You just kind of hook up in a pub and just have fun. Really, it was great. And of course, we were all a little bit pissed off that it wasn't legal. So we wanted it to be legal, which, a couple of years later, it was. But in some ways, that was the beginning, the end of the end. And in some ways, it was kind of, the beginning. It was weird. I was on AM, and we wanted 40 channels AM. We would have liked SSB as well, but AM was the plan, but the government decided it was going to be FM. And that kind of caused a bit of a rift between some of the AM guys and the news FM guys, and some of the AM guys switched over. Anyway, whatever. We can get into that at a later date. So yeah, it was great. It was really good. After a couple of years, decided that in '82 that I would study and take my ARE, amateur radio exam, and myself and some of the guys went to a local college, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't carry on with that. I I didn't like class when I was at school, so I just sent off. There was a thing you could get. It was called the Rapid Results. It was a Rapid Results College, and they had like huge amounts of courses that you could do at home, but it wasn't. It was pre internet, so that they would send you a book, and you would study that book, and then you go on to the next book, and so on. It seemed like it was going to take forever, so I just asked them if I could have all the books. I spent 2 weeks just cramming it, and took the exam, and got one of the very last G6 calls, which is cool. I got a G6 at GU, which still valid now. So I kind of flitted in and out of radio. It was always there. It was, if it wasn't set up, it'd be in a box somewhere. Um, but never really lost interest. I think my main interest is always going to be car scenes. That is what I really enjoy. But radio is always there. I don't think I'll ever give it up. It will always be there, whether I'm using it a lot or just occasionally. So um, I kind of drifted away from CB and concentrated on ham radio. Um, and then at a later date in 2009, we moved from well, funny enough, before that, in 1985, we moved to New York. I was offered a job there, so we up sticks and went. And I think I was using a Ham International um, 2 then, yeah. And I thought, well, I'll take that with me, and I set it up on an old '73 Nova that I bought over there. And some bugger stole it. I was on the drive one evening. I come out in the morning, and it had gone. So yeah, stupidly enough, I reported it to the police. We were in New Jersey then. We moved to New Jersey from New York, and I don't know why, but I had a serial number. I gave him a serial number. I gave him, told him what it was called, and it was 120 channel uh, radio. Little did I know that I think it was an SSB radio, so I can't remember whatever. But he looked at me and said, "You sure you want to report this? Because you do know that that radio is illegal here in the US. Because obviously it was an export radio and was sent to the UK." So I kind of he was good. It was good. He was good to let me know. So I didn't report it stolen, and that kind of I didn't replace it. Um, Year later, so I was moving back to the UK to Hertfordshire, where I got back into it. Met a whole bunch of different people, and it was good again. I enjoyed it, but then slowly got into ham radio again. But as I said earlier, notice now that it's getting really popular. There's a lot of manufacturers out there. There's a lot of new radios, and I'm kind of decided that I'm going to get back into it, and I want to record this on the YouTube channel. And from buying, setting up, and experimenting. And I'm hoping that you guys, as I said earlier, I hope you guys are going to subscribe and help me along the way. I wanna build all different types of antennas. At the moment, I'm using just a prototype ground ground mounted quarter wave antenna that I'm using on 10 meters, and 10 meters FM. I worked Portugal a few weeks ago. FM 10 meters. 4 watts, and it was 5 report each way. So I'm really hopeful that that's going to work great on CB 11 meters. We'll see. Can't do it much at the moment. I didn't say that in 2009 we moved to Canada, so I live in Canada now, in Ontario. But currently in Florida. As I said earlier, I really sit into my cars. I'm down here for sick week. You can see that sick week, which is a big drag and drive event, lasts for a whole week. Um, we like to spend time here in the winter, get away from the snow, and fortunately enough, it coincides with this event, which is amazing. If you're into cars, go onto the internet and watch what's happening. You can even watch it live, I believe. I think it's about $10, and you subscribe and you can watch it live with really good coverage. Anyway, I digress. As I say, I hope you join. That's me. Any comments, any ideas, anything you want to know, anything you'd like, to find out, let me know. Write it in the comments. And I was I was going to go to a Hamcation here in Florida. It's a big a radio event. They say it's the world's largest, whether it's not, I don't know. And the idea was I was going to go there and buy cheap radio and start with that. But past 2 days, man, I've spent a lot of money at the car event, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I was going to look for a little 40 channel SSB radio, but may have to dig out an old AM 40 channel radio that I've got at home and work on AM first of all. And I can I want to work at, if I want to do any SSB on 11 meters, I could do a mod on my icon. I don't know how to think about that. We'll see. But the whole idea is to do it cheap first of all, nice and cheap, set it up, show you what you can do with cheap antennas. You don't have to spend a lot. You really don't have to spend a great deal of money to get some great DX. I know there's some good antennas out there on the market, but wow, they're really pricey, and you can do just as well, if not better, with a home built antenna. You really can. So I'm going to wrap this up. Any comments, let me know. And I hope you subscribe and join in. Thanks. Name's Jeff. Catch you later.